This is Anil with a video tutorial for the LearningLad on C programming. In this video tutorial, we're going to see the conditional compilation statements like ifdef and ifndef. Then we're going to see the undef directive in C. The syntax of this ifdef directive is here. So as you can see, if this macro name is defined by using #define directive, then these statements will be added by the preprocessor in our expanded source code, so that the compiler is going to compile that code. So if this macro name is not defined by using #define directive, then this statement will not be added or included by our preprocessor, and in the expanded source code these statements will not be there, so these statements will not be compiled by our compiler. So the syntax of this ifndef is this one. Here just the complement of the ifdef. So if this macro name is not defined by using #define directive, then this statement will be added or included by our preprocessor in the expanded source code, and so that our compiler is going to compile that statements. So it's just a complement of this ifdef. And the next thing is this undef. We use this undef to undefine any macros which are defined by using #define directive. So we're gonna see about that later. First we're gonna begin with this ifdef. Now for the demonstration purpose, we're gonna define a macro by using #define, and we're gonna name it as Intel. So now in our main function, we're gonna check whether if this macro is defined. So it's gonna be #ifdef Intel, that's a macro name. Then we want to execute some code within this ifdef and ndef. So here we want to print something. Let's say course for the Intel PC. Save it, compile it and run. So as you can see here, since this Intel macro is defined by using this #define here, the code for the Intel PC will be included by our preprocessor in our expanded source code. That's why our compiler is gonna compile that statement. Now we're gonna close it. So now for the demonstration purpose, we're gonna remove this line, save it, compile it and run it. So as you can see here, nothing is printed. That's because this ifdef resulted in false, or this Intel macro name is not defined. That's why this printf statement is skipped. So now we can use this if not defined. Now this Intel macro is not defined in our program using #define. That's why this printf statement will be included. Actually this Intel macro is not defined, that's why it's gonna be for the non-Intel PC. So as you can see, the code for the non-Intel PC. And now we're gonna define it. It's gonna be #define Intel. Now Intel macro name is defined. Now we can use this #undef to undefine this macro. So now save it, compile it and run it. So as you can see here, since this Intel macro is defined, this printf statement is skipped. Now we're gonna close it and we're gonna use this #undef and undefine this Intel macro name. Now save it. Now what happens is, first we are defining this Intel macro and then we are undefining it. So when it comes to here, ifndef Intel, here this Intel macro is not defined. That's because we have undefined it. That's why this printf statement will be included. So save it, compile it and run it. So as you can see here, go for the non-Intel PC. So this is it. This is about the ifdef, ifndef and undef. So thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe. I see you in the next tutorial.